In today's video, we're going to spend the day with a full-time professional aquascaper and see how he maintains some of the best and most luxurious aquariums I've ever seen. Let's get started. Right, so how often do you visit this client, this customer?
So this aquarium is maintained on a weekly basis. A lot of the stuff is automated, as you will see downstairs in the technical department. But upstairs, first things first, what I do, I have to turn on the light because at this time of the day, the light schedule is still off. It usually goes on a little bit later. So I turn on the light and visual inspection is the first thing. See, all the animals are doing good, anything unusual, the plants, is everything looking healthy and okay? As of right now, I look into the tank, what do I see? We have a couple crypt leaves here that are turning yellow, so I'm going to cut this one off because a few days later it's going to start to dissolve. We don't want that. Keeping organic wastes at a minimum, also checking the state of the plant overall. As of right now, to be honest, I've been procrastinating to cut the bulbitis. This fern is massive. Just look at the size of this bulbitis fern. Every 6 months or so, I give it a harsh trim. The other thing that I see is the crypt. Actually, it is producing runners and there are new shoots coming up. So last week, actually, I removed them on this side. And if we go to the other side, you can see here shoots coming out where I don't want them to be. Composition-wise, there is one here with the bulbitis fern in between. There is one making its way to the foreground. There is more over here, those shoots. So they're going to be removed within the maintenance session because they're growing too close to the glass and becoming too big. So the job for today is basically to remove some of those crypt runners, pull them out, cut them off, whatever works, remove those dying leaves, clean the glass, and then do the hardware check.
Now, I made a video of this tank last year as well, but as you can see, a few things have changed since then, including the fish.
Well, long story short, the angelfish, they were wild caught. It happened so quickly, they must have had some sort of disease. Within just a few days before we could properly treat them, you see just one left.
Just one left, yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
It was very, very sad, and we decided not to restock on them. So the remaining one is going to be relocated. We'll go through a quarantine as well at the new place and hopefully then find a new community of other wild angelfish. Yeah, we're basically done upstairs. I'm gonna put the tank back on the automatic light schedule and then we can go downstairs and check out the engine.
So obviously it's a little bit noisy here, but I'm very curious what's going on here. So this is where the water...
Yeah, where the water comes down. And maybe we can go through the water cycle. Those are the two main overflow pipes. And one is the regular one is the emergency one in case this thing is maintained and I can close it, or it is clogged, then it goes through the second overflow, which bypasses the pre-filter, and this is the pre-filter. We're going to talk about that. There is also a third overflow, which is this one over here, and this one doesn't go into the filtration, it goes into the sink compartment straight away. So this is the pre-filter, which is a Genesis Evo 300, 3000, I don't know, which is basically... I have to turn off the UV. You can check in quickly on the UV how it turns off.
Where am I looking at?
The light inside.
Right.
This is a paper roll pre-filter. You see the fresh paper here, used paper over here, how this thing works. The water is in there, there is like a barrel, and the water has to pass through the paper in order to go through the filter. Because the paper clogs and less water can go through the filter, a natural overflow is happening over here, you can see here. And this water kind of, feels this little wheel, and this wheel turns. When this wheel turns, that first roll keeps turning, and a new piece, a little fresh piece of paper roll is added to the system.
Is this something that's often used in these big freshwater setups?
So this is actually more for ponds with koi fish, but well, 2,800 liters. You're not too far away from a small pond. It's the smallest filter. Something like this is also available in the marine. The beauty of this system is you have a pre-filter, you don't have to maintain, because it kind of keeps refreshing itself, so the flow is not clogged. Every once in a while I just have to replace the paper roll. That's it.
How long would that take?
In this case, 2 months maybe. So I have to just replace the paper roll, and I have a little stack down here, so I never run out. So this pre-filter saves me a lot of maintenance on the biological filter, because a lot of the dirt already stays in a pre-filter, like you can say majority of it. Then we have a coarse biological filtration over here with those ceramic rings, large size. The water goes through down here, goes up here. We have a little sponge here just to give bacteria different shapes to be accommodated, and then we have the Aquarium Neo Media, more of a more dense biological step here towards the end. This is also where the heaters are, heating up the water that goes there.
So what is the maintenance that we have to do here today?
So down here I'm basically checking if everything is working. Turn the UV back on. So I'm checking the UV is working, I'm checking if there is enough paper on the roll, if the system is working, looking, the wheel is turning, nothing is blocked, like just everything working as it should, checking the temperature, checking both pumps are running, then checking, the fertilizer, the content of the bottle, if necessary, it is refilled. This is the water change device of choice, the My Aqua 1900. This one is set on a timer. Basically, if the timer goes on, it starts pumping water into the system, and this creates an overflow where the clean water, because we have the return pumps here, the clean water goes up into the tank, and the dirty water coming from here is kind of overflowing through the grid down into the sink.
Okay.
So we are creating an overflow. So this is like a constant water change. So several times per day, we're adding like 100 liters, 100 liters, 100 liters.
And then what about the minerals?
Exactly, because we're using 100% reverse osmosis water. This is like a little bit special about this setup, because we cannot use the tap water here for a specific reason. So we have to remineralize the system. For that, I have a canister here. Every time I'm here, I'm refilling the canister with RO water. You can see it's been depleted over the last week. There is a pump inside that keeps the water moving, and there is a tube to the auto-dosing system, and it keeps the TDS between 100 and 125.
So in this little container you have...
I have 20 liters of water.
With minerals?
With minerals, yeah. We can do it like right now. So I'm going to take this tubing with RO water, put it inside, start the refill, like 5 minutes, it's going to be full. In the meantime, I'm going to take the appropriate amount of the minerals. Again, here using the APT Sky minerals.
This is adding GH, KH?
Only GH.
Only GH.
But at the right, calcium magnesium ratio. So all I want is GH for, for the animals, for the shrimps, etc., for the plants. Most of the animals, they don't need any KH. The minerals are dissolved in the jar here, and this goes into the canister.
So this is something that you have to do every week?
Yes.
So let's say there's people watching this video right now and they kind of want to do the same thing as you are doing. Like, what is the blueprint to becoming a full-time professional aquascaper? Like, where do you start?
If you don't have that much experience, probably, how fair it is to charge whatever amount of money for that, right? So just start with offering your service for free. And the easiest way to do it is your local fish store, actually, especially one that sucks, they don't have nice display tanks, because whatever you do for them is going to be better whatever they have, right? So just go there, pitch them, tell them, look guys, I want to gain some experience. This is what I've done so far. Show them, you know, a couple images on your phone. Do it because you want the practice and you want the reference. Because the next customer you go to, the next shop, you can already say, hey, I've done a display tank in this shop. This is what it looks like. This is how much I charge. You see, already a different, how to say, opening situation.
Okay, just arrived at another client. This is actually a beautiful room divider aquarium inside a retirement home. Really special, and we actually rescaped this aquarium yesterday.
Like this, okay, I'm gonna come closer with the bucket. Oh!
This is heavy.
Oh!
There'll be a full tutorial, full build video which will come later. But today we're back because we have to do some water changes, something like that.
Here we have our special water change vehicle. A little platform on wheels, a barrel with RO water. In the back we have a RO unit that fills it up. Anytime I need it, I kind of program it ahead of time when I know I'm coming. So in the morning it's filled up with fresh RO water. We have a return pump in here, so it is an easy refill. Like MJ just said, we've been yesterday here and teared the previous layout down, rescaped it. It's actually looking really good. The fish are fine. That's what I've been most concerned about because, you know, fresh soil, everything fresh, but the fish are doing fine. I think we did a great job with the saving a lot of the 50% of the old water. We have a mature filter. I left the CO2 off for the night. It's slightly milky, the water. I guess it's maybe a mild bacteria bloom. I'm going to open the system and give everyone a quick overview what we have here and do a 50% water change. We have a daytime built-in LED and yeah, basically I'm going to drain the water.
What are we doing with the old water?
Going just outside on the terrace into the garden. In the summer I use the water to water the plants, but now there's no need in mid-February.
Okay, retirement center ticked off. That's another client done. So now on to the next one. Okay, man. So we've been to a few clients right now. I'm just curious. Are you only taking care of scaping the tanks and maintaining them, or do you also like install the aquarium itself?
As soon as the aquarium gets a certain size, you know, we're talking 120, 150, 180, 2 meters and bigger. This is, you know, something like that you usually don't buy off the shelf. This bigger project oftentimes involves some sort of automation, whether it's the water change or, you know, they have some specific requirements. So this is where I will typically work with the contractors. For example, one of the aquariums you have seen, which is the angelfish aquarium. In this project I was involved by the company Amel. They've built the aquarium. And the client specifically requested a professional who is going to design the aquarium, make it nice, and is capable of taking care of the aquarium. Since I know the company Amel already for a decade, immediately been their first choice, so thank you guys, if you're watching this. And yeah, I was involved during the construction phase of the house. So we've been thinking ahead of time, where is the filtration going to be? Where do we need power outlets? Where do we need water outlets? How is the water change on this tank is going to work? So we plan everything ahead of time in the construction. So those big projects, I don't install the aquariums myself. So, you know, especially the plumbing and gluing, because that big ass tank has been built, like glued in place. It hasn't been transported in one piece. So those type of tanks, the big projects, working with Aquarium by Amel, and the smaller ones I'm doing completely on my own, you know, installing the filtration, the lights, CO2, everything. And on the big one even, like with the Amel, the big tanks you've seen, they just do the tank and the plumbing and the filtration. And everything else, that the automation, the light, the CO2, the fertilizer, like everything else, you know, the little details, this is where I take care of.
Man, I've seen a lot of beautiful aquariums in my life, but this one takes the cake. What do we have over here, man? This is insane.
This is another 3-meter nature aquarium. You get into the house, you see this aquarium. It's definitely a centerpiece in the entry hall. It's completely open. We have this castle spotlights, 360X, 5 of them, with lenses to kind of get some extra distance, no glare around the aquarium. Again, built by Emil, 3 meters long, I think 60 centimeters tall, and not sure exactly 80-ish centimeters wide, approximately 1500 liters in here. We have some Tunzi pumps over there creating extra flow on the back. There is the overflow chamber, and this way we get a nice circular movement around the aquarium, and the whole thing is again filtered by another giant sump in the basement, even 2 floors below this level. We have beautiful fish in here, a big school of the neon tetra, the Congo tetra. At the bottom we have a mixed group of corridors, and we have some juvenile torpedo barbs. They're going to become, when they grow out, like the centerpiece of this aquarium, because they're going to triple in size. The Congo tetra will grow a little bit as well. There should be some, what are they called? Farlowella?
Yep.
Needle catfish.
I've seen them already.
Yeah, I don't know what you call them in
I've already
English.
captured them on camera. So how often do you maintain this one?
So this aquarium is maintained every 2 weeks. It's mostly on autopilot. So during my bi-weekly maintenance, I'm checking on, is everything running as it should? Are the fish happy? Are the plants happy? Do I see anything unusual? Obviously refill the fish feeders so there is enough food for them.
So what are we doing in terms of maintenance here today?
In terms of maintenance, we're going to clean the glass and basically see that everything works fine, and do a couple of refills. I guess by now you already noticed an ongoing theme with my custom aquariums. They're all set up in a way easy to maintain for efficiency. Customers, especially private customers in general, like, it's not like public, but they don't want the aquarium to look good only at its peak. They want like a nice
consistency,
the whole time. And the more maintenance an aquarium takes, the more expensive the service becomes. So you have to find a balance. So it is hard to go wrong with easy plants. Also, you can have a system like this running with low nutrients. This way it is, just making less trouble.
So what's up with these ping pong balls, man? Are they ping pong balls?
They are ping pong balls. We are in the basement here, and when the space was constructed, it used to have ventilation. But somehow somebody did a mistake and removed the ventilation. So basically the customer or the architect asked me, okay, how can we reduce the evaporation? All the ping pong balls floating on the surface are reducing the surface. There is still gaps in between. It can breathe, it can move, it's flexible, because, listen guys, with so many pipes, creating some sort of a lid system would have been mission impossible. So I tested it, no harmful substances have been released from the ping pong balls. Test passed successfully, so they have been introduced here to reduce the evaporation.
Do we have to do anything in terms of maintenance here, or is it just checking?
Basically it's just checking, looking at the filter roll. There is still plenty over there. Parameters, everything is great. I can refill those containers. Like I said, it's automated system. I don't have to care of it. Like I said, just refill, and then I'm gonna grab my trusted Tunzi magnet. Really loving these things, especially for the big tanks. When you lose one, it has this floating body. It can be removed actually, so it's then like a grip like this with those T-bars on each end. It keeps it floating, and it's the beauty, in those big tanks you can't lose it. Oops, the magnet is very strong, because when it drops inside, then to get it out, sometimes very difficult. That's why I like these floating magnets. Also, plastic blades, you cannot scratch the glass with it.
So basically every single client that we've been to so far, like they're quite big houses, fancy cars. Are you specifically looking for that type of client?
So the first aquariums I have built, they have been, you know, more on a budget. Also, how much I charge was different from today. So I had a different type of clients. At some point, I was maintaining and servicing, I don't know, like 20 plus aquariums on a weekly basis. I had an employee. I was doing a lot of workshops at that time, you know, and when you start building a business, this is just a natural process. You start with smaller rates until you run out of time. And when then a new client appears, you just naturally you're raising your rates because you're already booked out, you have nothing to lose. So some clients will refuse to pay more, others will accept, and then the new clients are replacing the older clients. And kind of naturally, you know, it's the evolution of most businesses. The price goes up, the projects become more complex, but also at the same time I have more time I can dedicate to every customer, and the customers I'm doing now, I'm actually enjoying doing them. You know, there are no low budget projects, and yeah, this is the stuff I enjoy. And you know, I made my way here over a decade, started very small, and yeah, I would say by now I can pick the projects I'm interested in, and I think that should be the ultimate goal.
Okay guys, it is quite late already. We've just arrived at the last customer. This one is pretty cool because this tank is located inside a kid's dentist office, I guess. This is another project that me and Juris did together about a year ago. So there is a full build video about this tank, which I will leave, you know, on top of the screen. Yeah, it's quite late, so we're gonna quickly finish this tank, go home, call it a day. So cue the time lapse. Right guys, that was the last job of the day done. It's been a long day, it's been an exhausting day, but I had a lot of fun, man. If people want to hire you, do you still have spots available, and where can they reach you, man?
Yeah, I still have some spots available. There is a link in the description below for business inquiries. Please make use of this.
Cool. Guys, do us a favor, let us know in the comments which tank was your favorite. And as always, thanks for watching.
And keep on scaping.
See you on the next one.